Hello everybody, Jason here, Jager of STG. As one of the few people who actually bought the Raiden Unico cabinet that I'd show you around a little bit. You can see this version has vertical screen, Tate mode, 6-button control panel instead of the 8. And it is got full graphics down the side, displaying pretty much exactly the same as the prototype they're showing online. And flat black finish, very nice. The gloss decals, it's a very sharp cabinet. Has all the same features, but it also includes the Raiden pack of games, 6 of them, of the Seibu Kaihatsu games. And emulation on the first 3 games is pretty good. It's not hard to hit that 79 hertz. And I'm going to turn it on so we can see how loud it is. You can hear the fans in the background. There's the standard fans. Most people upgrade them to Noctuas, cut the sound down a little bit. You can see that this is an official Raiden cabinet for their anniversary that Moss hasn't talked much about online, but none of Moss's games are on here. 3 games in the original series, 1, 2, and 3, plus Fighters 2 and Jet. I have not played the Fighters series on here yet to see what speed they run at. When I was testing it originally, it felt a little fast. I'll have to comment later about that. But some people have asked if Unico has corrected whether or not adjustments to the monitor get saved. Well, I don't have it set up here, but I did adjust the display from the controller that's on the monitor. I made some kind of wacky adjustment. Turned the monitor off itself, turned it back on. Settings were just the way I left them. Powered the whole cabinet off on the power switch, powered it back on. The settings were just as they were, so I returned it to default. There are some potentiometers on the back of the monitor. I didn't play with those because I can't see what I'm doing while adjusting them and trying to reach around and look at the front. So more knowledgeable people on the Nova Blast Discord should probably answer that. It is the same display that comes in the other Unico Nova Blast cabinets. This one's just pre-set to a Tate format, portrait, vertical, whatever you want to call it. Let's just pop one of these open and select. And default, to me, it's the 4 typical difficulties that Seibu had on their arcade boards. The colors look a little hot to me. Let me kill this ceiling light. Now I kind of screwed up my speakers assembling them. They're not the best quality speakers, but they do the job. That is something that you can make an upgrade for. Like I said, this is an arcade cabinet. If you don't know, you can either add credits by pushing one of these buttons, or you got a coin door down here. Throw a quarter in, credit up. When selecting that though, this button used to be coin 1. Doesn't do anything now, so whatever, no big deal. You want to throw quarters in, you can do that. Or you can just leave the cable off and never use it. as I have it set up, there's no rapid fire. You got 6 buttons and no rapid fire on the regular game, but there was also no rapid fire on the arcade boards originally either. But what they did include, if you hit the menu button, save states. You get 10 of them. Do you get 10 of them a game? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's save that one. Let's jump out of this game. Let's go to DX. Now these are Sanwa controls. Not my preference. I like Saimitsu, but you can change those out. And they give you some hardware in these metal brackets here to change to different sticks. I'm not really sure which ones they are. I think they might be HAP sticks. If you wanted to make this more like a FabTech cabinet, FabTech sticks. Sorry, HAP sticks would be the way to go. The emulation feels crisp to me. And DX, of course, has single fire and a rapid fire option. You get rapid fire, you get single fire, you get bombs. Let's check that save state. Oh, the other save state's not there. Let's put this on 4, just for fun. You see that board is stumbling a little bit. It's going to load that save state where we were. So you could use it for practice on here. Have to see if you... There's so many other options to practice. Raiden 1, 2, and 3. Well, you can use MAME for 2 and DX, but 2 and DX have not been released on any consoles or home software or anything since the PC release and the PlayStation releases. Jump back in. You can go right to it. Don't have to worry about credits. Load. Right where we left off. The lag in between there is not too bad. Pause. Display settings. 2 choices. Straight up pixels or scan lines. The scan lines don't look terrible, honestly. The screen is bright enough and the density of the pixels and the resolution, in my opinion, is decent enough to where this has a very believable scan line. It feels like it's at least as good as one of the ones that you'd find on Raiden Fighters Aces, which had very decent scan line options. Cabinet is really sturdy. Their shipment, I heard horror stories of the original buyers. And their cabinets were just beat up. You see pictures online on the Discords, on YouTube videos. They got that figured out. This thing was packed awesome. I got a few dings and bends, real minor stuff. It's really just this front panel, and you can hardly even see it in low light here. It's bent in a little bit here where the lip sticks out on the access door, and a little bit down here. It's a little dinged, and that's it. My plexi was not screwed in. I thought that maybe that was by design. And I did get some scuffs on the covering plastic that was protecting it. But I don't see anything scratched up or ruined on it. Feels good. Like I said, I think I screwed up the speakers because I accidentally plugged them into the power that goes to the fans. I wasn't paying attention. That's on me. Big dum-dum. While it was fairly easy to put together from the instructions they gave. They're not real well detailed on the instructions. So be prepared to call customer service at Unico. They're very helpful, though. They were very helpful with me. So I don't have any complaints there. Like, I did not know that this had a separate amp that needed to be plugged into power, and it didn't even pay attention to that wire hanging out. I saw the power supply. I didn't know what it was for. Sturdy construction. It wheels around very easily. It's got wheel locks. While you can adjust these feet to set down on the ground, it is pretty heavy, and they will be very stable on those feet. They contrast very well with the cabinet as well. What else do you get? I'm gonna turn these lights back on. If you wanted to use this for other things that required more buttons, you include kick harnesses. You get a pair of kick harnesses. You get, some spare parts. This is an access door that goes in between the arcade cabinet itself and the bottom cabinet. There's a shelf down there. The only nitpicks that I really have with this is the seventh game. I don't know why they couldn't get the license for the game that fits between the Fighter series and the original trilogy, Dark Mist. I guess this is a PS3 game. I don't know. It's okay. It looks like a game that came out before Raiden. I guess if you got bored shooting shit, you could play that. But what should have been on there is this game, Viper Phase 1. That's an arcade board. That's going to go in on the JAMA cabinet, the JAMA connector that is inside here. I would have loved if that came with it. And I don't think it's a licensing issue, because Hamster has Raiden and Viper Phase 1 available on Arcade Archives. But they have Raiden here, and you can get Raiden still available on iOS, on Steam, in that absolutely horrendous port by .emu. .emu. That one's garbage. Don't ever touch that one. And the Fighters games, we do have, well, if you've got an Xbox 360 still, or you use Xenia, the Aces compilation is fantastic. The newer PS5, Switch, PS4 remix collection is playable, especially after the 54 hertz patch. One of the things that they've got going on in here, other than games, is you can change the language. I'm not doing that. It's Wi-Fi connectable. I assume that once they have the server set up, if they want to, Unico wants to make firmware upgrades to that little control board that has the Raiden games on it, they could potentially add more filters. They could add a speed change for the games to make them even more accurate. I know they worked on this for a long time. It took them forever to get this cabinet out. Remember, it was pre-orders in the early pre-orders. The first 100 were supposed to go out in May. And follow-up people buying are supposed to go out in June, and they got pushed back. I just got this last week, or the week before last. It did have to sit over the weekend while I built it. You can control the volume here. Controls it across all the games. It's menu specific. The theme, this is just the front end. I think the default one's probably the best. They gave you options, light, blue, default, the dark. Gotta go dark. The rest of this thing is dark. Why would you pick white? Storage management, not sure. I believe it wipes all of your save states. Someone can correct me from Unico if I'm wrong. And then this will tell you what version and the serial number. Don't worry about that. And then here's all the legal. I don't know why Moss is up there. They do not own the Raiden franchise. Seibu does. And Seibu still says what can do what. As much as I love Moss and the games that Moss puts out. Strange that it's even there. Anyway, that's the cabinet. She's a beaut. She looks good sitting back in that closet with a funky light stick in the back. If you got any questions, throw them in the comments. Talk to you later.